Governor Ron DeSantis is truly an exceptional statesman. He's an exceptional statesman. He's an old friend of mine when he served in the House. As you know, I campaigned for him when he was running for governor. President Trump endorsed him. Thank goodness he won. He's completely turned the state of Florida around. It is a free state. It is a prosperous state. It is a state where people want to be. It's now the third largest state in population. And he's created an environment in this state where business thrives, where employment's on the rise, where real health and medicine and science are practiced. A state that is patriotic because he has no tolerance for critical race theory and all the rest of it. And he did something the other day that hasn't gotten enough attention. He signed a bill to teach Florida students about communism. Just 45 minutes, but they need to learn about communism. Now, that's part of the problem in our country is the American Marxist movement that I've written about, that we've talked about at great length. How many school districts in America outside of Florida teach about communism? Communism has been the most evil and devastating ideology imposed on the human race ever. And the funny thing about Marx is Marx was lazy. Marx relied on his father, who was a wealthy lawyer, to subsidize him. Marx would, from time to time, when he lived in London, play the equivalent of the stock market in London in the 1800s. Marx didn't like to shower or get a haircut, as you can see when you see pictures of him. He was a real reprobate. And yet he wrote these things with the help of his buddy Engels, which had an enormous impact on humankind, and a very, very horrific impact, still does. Our greatest threat is Communist China. Communist China has a military that's far superior than Russia's. And they intend to, build a military that is superior to ours. And with the help of the Democrats in our country, they may succeed. And so this is a very serious matter. What's going on in Cuba, of course, the people of Florida and elsewhere know full well what's taken place in Cuba. That is a communist police state. If people could get out of there, more of them would. And it's funny how people in this country on the left, look at them, they have free health care. No, free health care. They have no health care. Look at this, they're so literate. No, they're not. They're driving around in 1952 Buicks and so forth. It's just a disaster. It could be, it could be a paradise like Hong Kong used to be until the Communist Chinese destroyed that place. But anyway, take a listen to this. This is Ron DeSantis this week talking about how they're going to teach Floridians, students, about communism. Go.
Florida's governor signed 2 bills into law today. Ron DeSantis says it's about honoring victims of communism. One element of the new laws involves instruction, something that survivors say is crucial. From the Miami-Dade College campus today, Governor Ron DeSantis signed 2 bills that bring the impact of communism to light. He spoke about communist countries like China and Cambodia, but it was impossible to miss the connection between Florida and Cuba. The signing ceremony took place in Miami's Freedom Tower.
From 1959 to 1974, more than 650,000 Cubans came to the United States to flee the oppressive communist regime of Fidel Castro. Many of them came to South Florida, either by plane or by boat, and once they landed, they would be taken right here to the Freedom Tower, where they would receive assistance and began their new life in the United States.
The bill signed by the governor established November 7th as Victims of Communism Day. High school students learn about infamous regimes in communism. 3 roads will also be designated for 3 different Cubans who fought back against the Castro regime. And Freedom Tower gets $25 million from the state to complete structural repairs and invigorate the museum.
When you think of landmarks in American history, yes, of course, we think of things like the Statue of Liberty and places like Ellis Island, but the Freedom Tower really belongs right right there alongside them. And so I think this tower is a reminder that freedom is not free.
This bill is so important because what you don't recognize and don't learn about, you tend to repeat. And so always keeping front and center that there are victims of communism, some that you will never see.
This is our Ellis Island in this community, and we will keep it. And this goes out to every single one of you who are here, who have fought this fight, and those who are no longer with us that have fought the fight.
We wanted to know, why was November 7th chosen as Victims of Communism Day? Well, that date in 1917 is when Vladimir Lenin led the revolt in Russia, widely considered the start of the worldwide movement of communism. Speakers at today's news conference say that movement has caused suffering that should never be forgotten.
Fantastic. And this is the way education should be managed in every state of the union. Instead, we have Marxist reprobates who are promoting Marxism and that ideology in elementary school, middle schools, high schools, definitely in colleges and universities. I mean, this is what's supposed to be done. You're supposed to reinforce Americanism, expose communism and these vile ideologies, promote capitalism rather than socialism, promote the Constitution rather than trash the framers of the Constitution. This is the way you build a healthy society.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.